Ready Steady Freefrommers. Today is Friday and so it's time for another video and we're going to be making another breakfast. It's going to be coconut flour waffles. So I've halved the recipe for this because it's just me that's eating this, and you can freeze these waffles as well and toast them whenever you want to, or pop them in the microwave to defrost and eat them that way. Now I've adapted the recipe a little bit. The recipe as always will follow at the end of the video and I'll let you know where I've been inspired from with this recipe. So it is a little bit different than the recipe that she has, but this is kind of my take on it, and so it's kind of half the ingredients that she normally puts. But the recipe at the end of the video will be what I'm going to be doing today. So let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is the waffle iron I am going to use. It's one of these, okay? Now you'll see in there, lovely waffle shape. I bought this quite cheaply off of Amazon and it's been an absolute godsend. Now you know that I am a kitchen gadget freak, and this is one of those kitchen gadgets that doesn't just sit around collecting dust. I do have some sitting around collecting dust, but this isn't one of them. So I think it was about £10–15. I didn't spend a lot on it. I think it's cast iron, it's quite heavy, but it's absolutely fantastic and it makes wonderful waffles, and they don't stick even though it isn't non-stick. All right, so the key is getting it heated properly and getting it greased properly, and I'll show you how to do that. Here we have in the bowl 4 eggs, okay? So just 4 regular eggs. Then we've got a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, or you can use butter. Now that is not hot. It's really important not to put that in hot because it will cook your eggs. That's not good. Then we're going to put about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. It won't matter to me if there's a little bit more because it gives that lovely vanilla flavour for a breakfast, which is lovely. If you want these more to be multi-use, like savoury, then skip some of the sweeter ingredients. Now cinnamon, got 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now again, I'm not going to worry if I go over on the cinnamon. So 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Then I'm going to go for about a tablespoon of honey. This is just to sweeten it a little bit, because obviously you're going to have your topping on the waffle. If you're not going to have any topping, then that sweetness helps a bit. So then we have a 1/4 cup of coconut flour, and then need to mix it all up. So that's it combined. You can see it's pretty runny. It's just dribbling off of my whisk. Now the coconut flour needs to absorb, so while that's absorbing, we're going to heat up the waffle iron. So I'm just going to pop the gas on just to heat the iron and make sure that it's ready to receive the lovely mixture that we're going to put in it. Now I'm going to heat this both sides because you'll see in a minute that the top comes down and also meets the mixture. And so we need the top to be hot as the bottom. So we've got here the bottom. Now you will notice a difference between the pattern on the top and the bottom in the fact that there is a lip to hold the mixture. So it's important that you get this the right way around. So we've got the lip there. I'm going to turn it over just while we heat that other side, and you'll see that the lip around the edge is not as deep, it's shallower because that's the top. So it's important that we don't put the mixture on that, we put it on the other side. So just make sure you get that the right way around. Some people have electric waffle makers. I chose to go with this because I quite fancied the idea, and plus I have a lot of electric gadgets, and so I wanted something that was going to be smaller to store, and I wanted that kind of fried taste just because nice to get fat sometimes. I might have to start doing some low fat recipes soon because I'm starting to put on a bit of weight. So what I'm going to do is use a silicone spatula, because this isn't going to melt when I start brushing the pan with it like a pastry brush might. And I'm using coconut oil to grease the pan. So I'm going to go around the pan and just kind of dot it around. And then I'm just going to brush in between the little grids. I'm just going to turn the heat down because I'm burning my hands. Just so that I've got everything covered. Then I'll dip it back in the pot. And then I'll do the same to the top. So I'm just going to brush it all in around there. The heat's quite hot here. Now this is really easy to clean. You can just pop it in the washing up, but a lot of the time you don't even need to wash it because it comes out so clean. So look at the mixture now. It's really thickened. That coconut flour is absorbed and we've got a much thicker consistency. So we're just going to use a spoon. I'm going to pop it in the bottom of this to make sure we're getting the right side. And this is just a matter of judgment so that you'll get used to how much goes into your waffle maker. I'm just going to pop in some blobs there and spread it around. If you put too much in, it's just going to overflow. It's not the end of the world. If you put too little in, then it's just not going to spread far enough and you won't get a full waffle. But that's okay because it's still edible. It's still waffle. So I've just popped the top down now and you could hear it sizzle when it met the top. So we know that that was hot enough, so that's good. So in a few seconds, I'm going to turn it over. I can't turn it over too soon because otherwise the mixture will dribble away. And I don't want to be lifting this up to have a peek, which is very tempting, because we could just pull it apart. So we just need to let it do its thing. Just going to press it a little bit. And now I'm going to turn it over. Now that extra sizzling when I turned it over was me clamping those handles together. Now these literally take seconds to make. And in a second I am going to have a peek. It's so exciting. You know when you see it and it's just like, oh, it's so good. So the bottom is cooked more than the top, so we're going to flip it back over, put it back on the top, because the bottom was longer and it was probably hotter, if I'm honest, when it first went in. But we're not going to be burning this. And then we're going to flip it out onto a plate. Okay, so we're looking at the top, make sure it's not burning. Look at the bottom again. It's got a little bit more colour on it. I'm just going to pop it over there, and then I'm going to flip it out onto my plate, ready to eat. And this is breakfast this morning for me, so I'm looking forward to this. I've not had waffles in a while, so this would be great. And hopefully this will just flip out onto the plate and you'll see how it doesn't stick. You've already seen how it doesn't stick on the top. So let's go for it. There we go. So you can see there that it's just popped out. It's quite hot. And what we can do is just cut it into triangles. And you've got this lovely firm texture. It's not crispy at the moment. If you wanted it crispy, I suspect you probably have to toast it, but you'd have to be careful because you might burn it. But they are really, really lovely. And the toppings you can put on this, you could put whatever you wanted to. So I'm just going to pop another little bit of coconut oil on. And we're going to do a second batch just to show you another time. Okay, there we go. So we're going back in. You can see the mixture here. I'm going to be making at least another one here and then probably another half. So I'll probably just spread it over half of the pan rather than all of it. Or you could just put it in the middle and have little ones. There we go. Just let that cook a bit. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. It was on quite a high heat. So this morning I think I'm just going to drizzle honey on it. You could have jam, you could put them in a bowl with some yogurt and fruit, and you could kind of dip them in like ice cream wafers, and that would look really great. So you could do anything you wanted to, really. And as I said, you could have them savoury as well if you wanted. So you'd skip maybe the honey and the cinnamon and the vanilla in order to do that, make them a bit more plain. And put a bit of salt in it. Oh, no, okay, so I've lifted this too soon and it's stuck to the top. So I need to be aware of that when I'm taking it out. So I'll show you what to do. It might be because it was either not hot enough or I've not put enough oil on it. Okay. Okay, so I've just shook it a bit and it's fallen out. Okay. So you can see there that it's cooked lovely and it's not sticking. I've just flipped it out of the bottom. And there's the other side. So it is, for me, it was definitely worth this small investment of this waffle iron, and I've really loved using it. And you could play, you know, add some different spices to this and flavourings. If you can eat cocoa, you might want to add cocoa to this. And so let's do a cheeky taste test. So here we have the lovely waffle. I'm just going to drizzle some honey on it. All that glistening honey. Oh, so good. It's soft, it's warm, it's gooey because of the honey. The honey's dribbling off it now. And oh my days, these are so good just with honey. So you could just have a stack on a plate and just drizzle honey all over it. You know, it's funny because when I cook things on these videos, often I've not cooked them in a while. So to retaste them, that's what makes the reminds me of how so good it is. So it's really great to be able to have this opportunity to recook all of the things that I've been cooking over the years. I'm just going to have a little bit more because it's just Yum, yum, yum. I used to hate honey. Absolutely hated it. So, enjoy your waffles. Enjoy making them. Have some fun. You could even get the kids involved if you've got kids. Or you could have them whenever you want to. So that's it. That's waffles. Easy peasy. And I was just thinking lemon squeezy. Lemon might be nice on these too. There could be like an alternative pancake. So anyway, make your waffles, have some fun, share what you're doing with it. Like, comment, subscribe, suggest recipes, anything you want to. I will see you next time in the kitchen.